I bet this raid boss guide for you it was unexpected. God, I love Reddit. Um, how's it going, my dreamers? This is Born to Dream here with another raid boss guide for you guys, and yeah, we're gonna be doing Onix today. So yeah, as far as raid boss guides go, I've told you guys my situation in the past, in terms of not be me not being able to not only get these videos out to you, but a lot of the other videos on my channel. I was having computer problems, yada yada yada. I'm sure you guys could go back and watch one of my other videos where I'm explaining this. But yeah, I was basically having computer issues, and I'm not having computer issues anymore. Another thing about raid boss guides is maps are down, which makes it way harder to finish these raid boss guides. So you guys will notice that this video will probably be a little shorter than my other raid boss guides because I only did 2 battles this time instead of 3. Usually I do 3. I like to go through all 3 charge moves. Yeah, I only did 2 for Onix because it's a lot harder to find raid boss. It's just harder in general to find raid bosses, and then to find like specific move set of raid bosses, it just makes it near impossible to do all of it in what will probably end up being a week, because I am not expecting Onix to be here past Tuesday. But yeah, so it's just not having maps just makes it way harder to make these raid boss guides. And I'm sorry I haven't done the past few. I do have video for Claydol. If people want to see me do a Claydol raid boss guide, I could do that. Even though Claydol is not around anymore, I might still have clips for Aerodactyl if people want to see that. These raid bosses will probably be coming back anyways, so I figure if I just put the videos out there when, let's say, Onix comes back again, people want to watch this raid boss guide for when Onix is back again, because Onix probably will leave on Tuesday. If Onix is still here past Tuesday, that's awesome. But I just feel like it's gonna leave on Tuesday. So let's say like a month from now, if they brought back Onix, well, bing bang boom, I already have a raid boss guide out for you guys to watch. So I was just giving you kind of a quick lay of the land, the things that were going on with me and my channel, and sort of the state of raid boss guides in the future. Is I'll probably just make raid boss guides, and with the quick turnover of raid bosses as of recent, if I do it too late, oh well. If I do it and the raid boss stays for a month, that's awesome, I guess. Basically, I'm just gonna make these raid boss guides no matter what, so because I know you guys enjoy them. Anyways, let's talk about Onix, because that went on for a little too long. So, in terms of stats here, you guys can definitely see what Onix excels in, and that would be defense. Onix is a very, very, very bulky Pokemon. It doesn't have a whole lot going for itself in the other 2 departments. Onix is basically all defense. So with that in mind, you're going to want really strong Pokemon, obviously, to take this defensive wall down. Now, what's going to help you is the fact that it is a rock ground type. You could bring in water and grass types, not have too much of a problem with Onix. To be honest, I don't think Onix is too difficult as long as you have the Pokemon strong enough to beat it. What would be a little more difficult is if we had Steelix. You guys could see that Steelix is in fact the 4th bulkiest Pokemon currently in the game right now, behind 2 Pokemon that aren't even released yet, and then Shuckle. I don't think anybody wants to see a level 3 Shuckle raid boss. That would be pretty bad. So hopefully we don't see that anytime soon. But Steelix not only would be the bulkier, not only would Steelix be bulkier than Onix, although I don't know if that's 100% true because it has like double the HP of Onix. But not only would Steelix have the defense stat to be a good level 3 raid boss, but it would also not have a quadruple weakness, kind of like Onix has a quadruple weakness. So it would probably be one of the hardest raid bosses to date for me. If we were just compare it to other raid bosses we've had in the past. I mean, we have Cloyster, who has about the same stats and is a level 2. And Cloyster is a very difficult level 2 raid boss. That's level 2. So level 3, he'd probably be ridiculous. I think Cloyster would be a little more bulkier than Steelix because of the HP stats. Aggron's a very tough tier 4 raid boss. You have, where are you, buddy? You have Claydol here, who's who was a very, very difficult raid boss, and has semi-low HP and pretty good defenses. And then there's the Jolteon and Flareon. Well, Flareon's here. Where's Jolteon at? Jolteon a little higher, or maybe not. Maybe Jolteon's down here. Where are you? There you are. Oh, you're right here. Yeah. So these guys have like 200 defense, like barely above 200 defense, and they were pretty difficult raid bosses. So that kind of gives you an idea of how difficult Steelix would be. But obviously the reason why Steelix isn't quite raid boss is because they want you to catch the Onix and get a Metal Coat and evolve Steelix, or evolve an Onix that way. So that's probably why Steelix probably won't be a raid boss anytime soon. And that's why we didn't get Scizor or Porygon 2, or have we had any others like that were, I think that's all of them. Yeah, so that's why we only had like those 3 as raid bosses, and we didn't have Scizor or Porygon 2. And Steelix is because, I mean, they want you to get the item, which is reasonable. Just so like metal coats and upgrades and stuff like that aren't completely worthless. But anyways, let's talk about the movesets here. So I think this is better just so we kind of forget about the legacy moves. I mean, the legacy moves for Onix were Rock Slide and Iron Head. I don't think too many people are going to be too mad about that because Onix just has a really bad attack, so it doesn't really matter. One thing I should say about moveset is I don't think for Onix it really matters what moveset it has. Yes, there will be Pokemon that are better for certain movesets than others, but honestly, these charge moves do so little from Onix that you just won't even notice the difference. So you guys will see, like, when I'm using like Gyarados and whatnot, that Stone Edge just doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The bigger challenge is going to be beating the clock. So we got Tackle, Rock Throw, Sand Tomb, Heavy Slam, and Stone Edge are the moves that you're most worried about. I would probably say for charge moves, Heavy Slam is the easiest. Sand Tomb would be medium, and then Stone Edge would be the hardest. But again, they're all kind of close. I just say Heavy Slam's the easiest because, I mean, if you're just using water types, honestly, you should be fine. Sand Tomb and Stone Edge are stab moves, so that might be a little more difficult, but not by much. You could see Onix's weaknesses here. Onix, like other rock ground types, kind of like Rhydon and Golem and those Pokemon, they tend to have a few weaknesses. So we got the quadruple weakness for grass and water, and then it's also weak to ground, steel, fighting, and ice. I would not recommend steel or ice. Maybe Metagross might be okay in snowy weather, and against like a Stone Edge Onix, but I would kind of stay away from these two types. Ice is just bad because Onix is a rock type, and I mean there are ice types that are water types too. That's fine, but I'm just talking about like pure ice types. Like let's say Jinx for example, because Jinx is kind of frail, and I mean it'll probably take a good amount of damage from a Stone Edge, even from an Onix. So yeah, try to stay away from those. Basically, you just want to use grass and water types. Um, and then if you're looking for a perfect IV Onix, so we're talking not weather boosted Onix. Its CP is just really, really bad, unfortunately. So if you're looking for a perfect Onix, 572 is its max CP as a level 20. And then weather boosted, so that would be partly cloudy and clear. 715 is what you're looking for a perfect Onix. And I mean, Steelix is a very good gym defender, so it's not like, this is like Onix is a really bad raid boss. Steelix is a pretty decent gym defender. It doesn't really help with Machamp, unfortunately, and that's what I kind of rate gym defenders on how well they deal with Machamp. So like Blissey and Snorlax have a really, I mean they could counter Machamp, so that's what makes them very good gym defenders. And then stuff like Gardevoir, Dragonite, Executor have a pretty strong handle on Machamp. So that's kind of how I personally rank gym defenders. But I mean, Steelix itself is very, very bulky, but it does have a few weaknesses, kind of like Onix though. So keep that in mind. But anyways, let's talk about the counters to Onix. So you guys can see the counters here. Now I've heard people say, at least when Onix first came out, and I'm sure this is disproven by now, that you needed either Kyogre or you needed Weather Boost to defeat Onix, and that's not necessarily true. Kyogre and Weather Boost definitely make it easier, but it's not a necessity. So it's not like Claydol, where you absolutely needed Claydol to solo, or you absolutely needed Kyogre to solo Claydol. That's not the case here. You can use other stuff. So Kyogre would be the supreme counter. Groudon will be the Groudon, Executor, Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, and Gyarados would be your good counters for Onix. I forgot what I was talking about for a second. So I don't know if Solar Beam is that bad for Venusaur. I guess you could try it out, but it's probably, Executor and Venusaur, Venusaur with Frenzy Plant and Executor with Solar Beam are kind of neck and neck anyways, so like you could kind of see here. So they're kind of neck and neck, so it's whatever. But yeah, I'd say those four are good. I want to say I'm really tempted, and if Onix does get extended, I might try this if I have the right weather conditions, obviously. But I'm really tempted to see how like a full team of Machamps would do in cloudy weather. That would be interesting, because like Machamp would take very little damage. It just take way less damage from Stone Edge and Rock Throw, and the dynamic punches would hurt a lot. So I'm really curious if you could solo Onix with just all Machamps. I'm sure you can, but I would just like to see it, especially for people that have a horde of Machamps and use them for gym battling. That would be interesting. And this list gives you a few other Pokemon to use. I wouldn't deviate too much from these five right here. Bug is resisted, or ground is resisted by bug. Wait, sorry. Ground resists bug. Okay. So, So, Sceptile probably wouldn't be the best idea, and people generally don't run Bullet Seed on Sceptile, so that's a thing. Razor Leaf is kind of slow, and you want to be using either really, really strong moves, or you want to be using really, really quick moves against Onix, so Venusaur might not be the best. So, yeah, and then I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the weather conditions you're going to want for Onix. Basically, if I could just find weather somewhere, it's somewhere around here. There it is. Basically, the only two weathers that you really should be doing Onix in is clear and rainy, because those two will give you the boost that you need for your grass types and your water types. And it just makes soloing Onix so much easier because, again, Onix is such a huge defensive tank that you just need all the power you can get. So these two conditions are the best. You guys will see I did do an Onix in windy weather. I would not recommend that because you're not really getting much help against Onix in windy weather. So I'd stay away from that if I were you. If I were just starting out against Onix, just don't do it. And then partly cloudy would probably be the worst, just because it's a rock type. And then it's snowy weather. I mean, if you're using ice types and it has heavy slam, it'd probably be bad. But heavy slam, I honestly don't think heavy slam is too big of a threat. So, you know, it's kind of like whatever. Fog and cloudy. I did mention cloudy. Cloudy might be worth a try if you have a Machamp squad. Foggy really doesn't help you at all. So I would say foggy and windy, and I guess snowy weather don't really help you at all. And then partly cloudy would be the bad weather because Onix would get a little more of an attack boost. But yeah, so anyways, that's it for the guide. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys in the battles. Alright, so I didn't record Heavy Slam like I mentioned in the Game Press part of this video because I didn't get any video of it. But basically, if you're looking to solo a Heavy Slam Onix, which, by the way, I think is the easiest, go with water types. Water types are your best bet. So Gyarados, Kyogre, maybe Vaporeon, but I don't think Vaporeon will be able to do enough damage to solo a Onix. So I guess Vaporeon works as like a filler if you want to do that. That's fine, I guess, but Heavy Slam really isn't that hard, so if you could solo that, you could solo the rest of these. So first off, we have Santum Onix, and this was done in clear weather, so keep that in mind while you're watching the damage bar there. If you're doing this outside of clear weather, the Onix probably won't do as much to you. You guys see me using the shiny Gyarados that I got thanks to this current event. I freaking love this thing now because there's a funny story behind this Gyarados, but that's for another time. Anyways, Gyarados is probably your best friend in this matchup because Gyarados is a flying type and it fully resists ground moves. So use as many Gyaradoses as you can. Like I said before, this event's been great, at least for me, for gathering Magikarps. So hopefully you have 1 or 2 Gyaradoses lying around, so that way you can easily solo this Onix. You guys can see how much damage I did with just Gyarados in that span of time. With like 85 seconds left, I did about a little more than that what's there for Onix. But Executor is also another good mon to use against Onix. Executor actually does very well against Santum as well. So maybe if you aren't sitting on a bunch of Gyarados, you might want to give Executor a try. So, and Executor, of course, is the best grass type. So, yeah, I guess Executor would be a logical choice. You can use, like, Solar Beam, Groudon. That's an option. I didn't use either Groudon or Kyogre for an Onix solo. Obviously, you can use those, but like I try to do in my videos, I try to stay away from Legends because I know not everybody is, has a bunch of Kyogres and Groudons laying around. So, and even if you did, you might not have the candy or the Stardust to power those guys up. So, I give you guys options like Executor and Gyarados and like Vaporeons and just stuff that you guys will probably have or you're more likely to have. It makes a lot of sense to me. But we ended up taking that Onix. These solos are going to be very close because that's just how bulky Onix is. And you guys saw that you guys will get a better picture in the next one because the next one I didn't even have any weather boost, so you guys will see just how little an Executor Solar Beam does to Onix. So yeah. Alright, last but not least, we have Stone Edge here, and this, in my opinion, is the hardest moveset, but I don't mean to make that sound like it's like a really hard moveset. It's a hard-hitting, one-bar move, and, I mean, Onix's other two attacks aren't all that impressive, so this is just the one good attack Onix actually has. So I don't mean to make that sound like it's really difficult. It's just this is about as tough as it gets. Which, I mean, again, this isn't about, with Onix it's not about power. It's just about being able to beat the thing. So with Stone Edge, I mean, you can use Gyarados here. But you can see how little Stone Edge did there. It's really not a problem at all. But on the flip side of this, I did this in windy weather, and I mean, you could see just how little Hydro Pumps do to Onix. Like right there, it really doesn't do that much damage. So this is just it's just a battle against the clock basically with Onix. So you can use Gyarados here, you can use Executor. This is where Groudon would come in great because of its ground typing. And I should also mention that this was my first Onix solo, and I was kind of under the belief like, oh, I might actually fail this, so that's why you guys see me switching so much in this battle. And it's actually a good tactic to use if you're not sure if you can beat a raid boss. Just sort of switch out on your last charge move. so that way you're not wasting time with the feint animation, and you can just jump right into the next Pokemon. And not only can that Pokemon just start attacking right away, but that Pokemon can start, you know, gaining energy for its charge bar. So that way, you know, you can get to your solar beams and your hyper beat and your hydro pumps a little quicker. So that's a strategy you guys see me use here, but I don't know if it was that necessary. Yeah, so you can use Groudons, Kyogres, basically the same stuff. I don't think there's anything really new. This is where you could probably use Machamp if you're doing cloudy weather, but don't quote me on that. I'd actually like to see if you guys, if someone actually attempts that, if they do like all like 6, they don't even have to be maxed out Machamps, but 6 really good Machamps against an Onix in cloudy weather. I'd actually like to see that. So yeah, but I think I managed to get this at about probably 10 seconds, maybe. It's looking like 10 seconds. All these battles are going to be very, very long. There's no quick way of beating Onix, but you're not going to be going through a lot of potions either when you're soloing Onix, which is actually kind of a good thing if you think about it. You get the tier 3 rewards, and you don't have to spend as many potions on this raid boss as you would for, let's say, Alakazam or Gengar, which is kind of nice actually now that I think about it. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. The next raid boss guide, I don't know what it's going to be, honestly. Let me know if you guys want to see like videos for, I do have like Aerodactyl and Claydol still. I think I have to look through all the videos that I have, but I think I have 3 unique Aerodactyl solos. I know I have Claydol for sure, but let me know if you guys want to see that, maybe for when they come back. I know Aerodactyl is around right now, but I'm just talking about, like, you know, after Tuesday, if Aerodactyl's gone, maybe you guys want to see, you still want to see an Aerodactyl raid boss guide. That's a thing. And then any other future raid boss guides, I will definitely try to get to you guys. It's just going to be, again, it's going to be difficult because there's no maps right now. So it's really difficult to find unique raid bosses to solo. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Keep living the dream. Goodbye.